And welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Heather Childers along with Bob Sellers, and we're back with our panel to discuss a little bit more on, what exactly is changing Governor Cuomo's plan here in New York, and he's now talking about reopening businesses that have been locked down. Folks all across this state and many others, we can also include California in it, have lost their livelihoods. People, not being able to pay their rent, not being able to support their families. Bill, one of the things that crossed my mind when we were speaking with a guest earlier comparing New York to Florida, where Florida is open, Florida has a larger population, but yet they've had higher numbers of COVID cases, also higher number of COVID deaths. And in an article that she read on the for the New York Post, she also pointed out indoor dining alone, do you know how much that accounts for in terms of COVID cases? Only 1.4% of COVID cases have to do with indoor dining, but yet we're locking them down.
Right. Well, if you go back, though, a few months, New York far surpassed anywhere for COVID deaths, no matter how you were calculating it. So Florida, with a higher elderly population, was way lower. Their case count went up with everybody's case count because we're testing healthy people. We're testing, in New Jersey, 40,000 healthy people a day are getting tested. So I don't put a lot of stock in the case count. I think that Governor DeSantis did it right. He opened the economy, put people back. I was having friends from Florida text me pictures of selfies at the bar on New Year's Eve. Normalcy has come back, and the businesses thank them. But here's the thing about Cuomo, which is interesting. Nobody talks about that back in April, he actually, after Dr. Daniel Murphy, the head of emergency medicine at St. Barnabas, wrote an op-ed that was published in the New York Post, he said, I'm on the front lines. This thing peaked on April 7th. It is time to reopen. Cuomo actually, I don't remember the exact date of his quote. It was either in April or May, but he came out and said, I'm not so sure these lockdowns were a good idea. So it seems to me the pro-lockdown Cuomo was all about anti-Trump. And now he breathes a sigh of relief. I don't have to worry about my prospects in 28 if I run for president, because I did what the party line told me to do, and that was use coronavirus to attack President Trump. Yeah. Now that Trump is gone, let's reopen because they need the tax revenue.
Stacy, I'm going to get you in here because you didn't say much in the last segment. What are your thoughts on why he's doing this?
Well, it's strictly he's got a free open plate right now. Like before, his main concern was keeping President Trump out of office. Now he's able to support Biden, who's coming in as a president, and he's looking at his bottom line. And tax revenue's down. Obviously, it's going to be down because businesses that go out of business don't owe any money in tax. So tax revenues will be down. But there's another thing. So you have U-Haul, which they track the movement of people around the country. And they found that there is more outgoing U-Haul trucks from 3 states, and New York is one of them, than there are inbound trucks. So people who are living there who want to do it yourself move, they don't have access to a truck with which to do it. There's almost 400,000 people who've left New York, and the majority of them are coming out of that big hub there, New York City. He's looking at the numbers and he's wondering if he miscalculated, not to mention the fact that he's got to battle Janice Dean every day on Twitter to keep the numbers of people who actually died in the nursing homes a secret, because he has that, he's gotten awards for being such a great governor, but he really was the one who killed all of those elderly people by forcing them back into the nursing homes while they had COVID-19.
Kelly, what about that? All these folks moving out of these Democratic-controlled cities and states, California, heading off to Texas. We have New York and New Jersey headed down south. Are they really messing up?
I wouldn't think so. And going to Bill's point, I have to say I'm down here in South Florida, and people disagree about what the governor has done. It has been horrible. There's some say that there's not an accurate count of how many people got COVID, and now people are trying to get the vaccination, and it is total mayhem. People don't know where to go. He's left it up to the counties to deal with it, and the city, and people are totally confused on how to get the vaccination.
Yeah. Bob, I know one of the things that you always talk about is getting the kids back in school. So important.
Yeah, and I think Cuomo's coming around to that, too. I don't know how long it takes him to figure out what most people could figure out very quickly. And like Bill said, maybe he was politically motivated. But I also don't understand how all you got to do is walk down the street in New York. And you will see one store closed after another. It breaks your heart.
Yeah, it definitely needs to change. It needs to change very quickly. And keep it right here.